Hello and welcome. Now, it is no longer news that Nigeria now has another top political party, the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Of course, until recently, when former Vice President Atiku Abubakar led a wave of defections to the party, the ADC was just a fringe party. But that has now changed with the number of top politicians joining its fold in recent times. Alongside Abubakar, several other high-profile figures, among them Peter Obi, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, former governors Nasir El-Rufai, Rotimi Amechi, and John Oyegun have all thrown their weight behind the platform. The party is currently led by an interim committee that includes former President of the Senate David Mark and former Governor of Osun State Rauf Aregbesola. But then, internal party resistance has emerged. A faction of ADC members has challenged the legitimacy of the party's takeover, calling it an undemocratic hijack lacking transparency and grassroots involvement. There are also concerns that some of the high-profile politicians that initially identified with the party are beginning to have a rethink and retracing their steps back to their former parties. There have also been suggestions that the ADC is now effectively a platform for former Vice President Abubakar to run for the 2027 presidency. Well, to address all of these issues, I'm now being joined by the interim National Publicity Secretary of the party, Bolaji Abdullahi, who joins us from Abuja. Mr. Abdullahi, thank you very much for coming on the program. Let's start off with this faction of the party now that is, saying that, look, what is happening in the ADC is illegitimate and that it's total hijack, and they're kicking against it. How problematic is that for your platform?
I have a problem with your premise because you just described a faction. Are you sure about that? Are you sure you want to say faction? Well,
obviously there is a faction. You have a group of your members.
No, you don't have a faction. You don't have a faction. A faction within a political party means that the party has broken into two or more categories.
So what would you describe this?
That's not the case. What you have are a group of individuals who have concerns or who have raised concern or who are not happy about certain things, and are raising it within the party. So that is not a faction.
And it doesn't bother you that these individuals are raising concerns, and that we're not just talking about a few individuals. There are quite a number of them, and the presidential candidate of the party in the last general election is also one of them.
No. I think we need to understand. We need to separate all these issues. Because when you put them together like that, you begin to have a picture that is not correct. The presidential candidate of the ADC in, I think it was 2019 election, or I can't remember which election that he contested, is not a member of ADC. He has been expelled from the party since 2022. That's number one. Perhaps the people that are driving him or encouraging him to do the kind of thing he's doing don't have this information that he's no longer a member of the party. That is one. Two, is also for us to understand that a presidential candidate of a party is not an official of the party. He's not the chairman of the party, he's not the secretary of the party, he's not a member of the board of trustees, he doesn't hold any executive position from a party. A presidential candidate of a party only emerged from the platform of the party. And once the election in which you use the party to contest is over, you cannot claim to take decision for the party. You are only a candidate for a candidate in the platform of the party. So be that as it may, there may be a second category of people who may have the bona fide or legitimate concern. Maybe people who were chairman of the party or hold one party positions at one time or the other. Our understanding is that these individuals are raising the kind of concern that they are raising because they don't have the full information about the process that that we followed and that brought us into the party. So for such individuals, we try to make information available to them. For us in ADC, we have not done anything that is against either the rules of the party or the electoral rules. We are on solid legal grounds, we are on solid constitutional footing, so we are not concerned at all. We acknowledge the right of individuals to raise concern. We have a duty to explain, like I'm explaining now. We're not dismissing anybody's concern, but we are saying that we as a party are on a very solid ground. We don't have any worry at all.
What exactly are you doing? Because whether you like it or not, I mean, this is a problem you certainly would not want to have at this time. So what are you doing to, assuage their feelings and try to get them on your side, including the former presidential candidate of the party? Because whether you like it or not, he's a leader of the party as well. He might not be holding any...
I just told you, you're probably not listening to me. I just told you that the person you described as the presidential candidate of the party has been expelled from the party since 2022. Do you have a contrary fact? So why are you still describing him as a leader of the party?
Well, but he doesn't believe that, and he says he's still a member of the party. I mean, you've seen him make comments. You've seen him, continue to make comments as a member of the party, and that he's, that he aligns with the legitimate leadership of the party.
The reason you are asking me this question, I believe, is for me to provide information for you.
Yeah, sure.
If that's the reason, I've just provided you information that is not a member of the party, and you are not in a position to argue that with me, unless you have a contrary evidence that he is in fact a member of the party.
All right, we'll still touch on that. But let's move on from there. Yeah. So let's discuss your plans for 2027. What exactly are the plans? Because there are concerns. You must have read that. There are concerns that, look, this is a vehicle, literally a vehicle for the former vice president, that's Atiku Abubakar now, to actualize his presidential ambition. Is that the case?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, we've said this repeatedly, that the African Democratic Congress and the coalition goes beyond anybody's individual ambition or anybody's desire to be president at any point in time. What has brought this coalition about is fundamentally what has appeared to be a deliberate effort by the ruling party to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. Before ADC came on board, almost all other political parties have been seized, opposition political parties have been seized by one crisis or another. It got to a point that Nigeria appeared to be resigning to their fate, that no matter what we do, the only party that is viable ahead of the next election is going to be the ruling party.
So you don't believe that your former party is still a strong party? You don't believe that? I'm talking about the PDP.
Which one is my former party? No, I left PDP long before the coalition. I left PDP since October last year. But if you are referring to PDP, it is very clear that PDP is no longer the main opposition party. The main opposition party in this country today is African Democratic Congress. I mean, because the PDP has failed, whether inadvertently or deliberately, to play the role of opposition. And but when you have a party...
Hold on there. Hold on, please. We're talking about a PDP that has got... at the moment, it has close to 10 governors. It has, political structures across the country. You certainly, of course, would not call that kind of party, you definitely would not say that is not a strong political party and that it is not, for instance, the major opposition party in the country today.
You are also talking about a party whose governors are decamping to the ruling party every day. You also have a party whose leadership, members, are the one welcoming people into the ruling party. You are also talking about a party whose governor is endorsing the presidential candidate of another party. The last time anything like that happened in Nigeria was during Abacha rule. No, that a member of a political party or leadership of one party would be endorsing.
But go on.
So what I'm saying is that PDP has sabotaged itself in its capacity or ability to play opposition politics in Nigeria. And it is very clear to us that for us in this country today, what you see about the migration of governors into the ruling party is a grand conspiracy against the Nigerian people. So today is either you are in the ruling party or you are in the ADC coalition. So it is very clear within the last 4 weeks or so that we have come on board. And so that's why, to go back to the original question that you have not allowed me to answer, which is that the coalition is not about anybody's individual ambition. It's not about Peter Obi's ambition. It's not about Atiku's ambition or any other person you may want to identify as aspiring or interested in becoming president. What we are involved in, what we are doing, is much more profound than that. It's bigger than that. It's the desire to save this democracy that many Nigerians died for, which was dying before our very eye, before ADC came on board. So when it comes to the issue of who flies the party's flag and become the flag bearer in 2027, we are committed to providing a democratic process that will produce a candidate. So all these stories flying all over the place, which I think you believe in some of them by talking about Atiku coalition, it is not true. The ADC coalition is not more important, is not more of an Atiku coalition than a coalition of any member of ADC in any part of Nigeria. So when the time comes to decide who flies the party's flag, the party will produce an internal democratic system that will lead to that outcome. And all this talk about, oh, some people are finding their ways out of the coalition, I'm surprised you are saying that, because I'm going to ask you to show me one person.
Yes, I'll give you, let me give you one example. Let me then give you one example. A good example will be the vice presidential. There's a 2023 vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party. That's Dati Baba Ahmed. You see that. You've heard he's granted several interviews. And from those interviews, you clearly can tell that he doesn't very much identify with the ADC coalition anymore. And he's gone back to the Labour Party and says he wants to make the Labour Party stronger as a viable opposition.
Now, what I can tell you, I don't like to talk about individuals, that Dati Baba Ahmed was never a part of the coalition. Never, at no time was he a part of the coalition.
He was there when you had your first gathering.
He came. I was surprised. I was surprised to see him, like any other member of the coalition.
Oh, really?
But of course, we welcomed him. We're happy to have him in the room. You can talk to Dati Baba Ahmed.
Were you surprised to see Peter Obi as well, who was the presidential candidate of the Labour Party?
No. Peter Obi has been part of the coalition from day one. If you'll be kind to let me answer your question, I'll be able to give you explanation.
All right, please go on.
Unless you've already made up your mind.
Not exactly.
No,
not at all. Please go on.
So what I'm saying is that Dati Baba Ahmed, ask him, has not attended one leadership meeting of the coalition. Not one. In all the months that we had the coalition meeting. Not one. So he came that day of the unveiling, and we were happy to see him, like we'll be happy to see any other person. Maybe he came to find out if there is a space for the kind of politics he wants to play in the coalition or not. And maybe he found out there's no space for him, and he went back. When I saw the story you are talking about, I called him. Did you actually say this? I shouldn't be saying this because it's a private conversation. Let's leave that. I stopped there.
So essentially he is not and has never been a part of the coalition.
I only saw him on the day of the unveiling. And after that, if he stopped coming, he must have his reason. But it's not been part of. He has not attended a single coalition meeting. And those meetings have gone on since last year up till July 2nd that we did the unveiling. He has not attended any of the meetings, whether those in Nigeria, in Abuja, in Lagos, in London, in all the places we had meetings. He has not been present in even one of them. So,
the ADC, you project it as an alternative platform. So what alternative exactly are you offering to Nigerians?
Well, I'm glad you're asking me this because democracy is about options. People should have the right to choose. That's what democracy is about. But what we are faced with in the last 2 years or so is a situation that it appears the ruling party has a strategy to subvert or destroy all opposition parties in a way that when we arrive at 2027, nobody will be in a position to contest against the president. It's the most dangerous place to be. And that's why we say, well, when ADC is saying we are providing an alternative, we are hoping that we'll be able to build an opposition political party that will be strong enough to challenge for power. So that when we arrive at 2027, our Nigerians can ask themselves, are we happy with APC? Are we happy with what they have done with this country in the last 4 years? Has the quality of our lives improved? Do we now have access to electricity that they promised? If the answer is no, Nigerians should be able to have option. Nigeria should be able to have alternative. So, and that is what ADC represents. If they are happy, by all means. We don't wish APC bad luck. We want APC to be strong as a political party, but they need to recognize that democracy can only survive if there are other political parties as well. So when we get to the polls in 2027, Nigerians should be able to say we are not happy with APC and want another political party. But if they turn around and they can't find any viable alternative, that's a very dangerous situation.
Let me ask you this. You know, your part, you've actually accused the APC several times of orchestrating the defection, some of the defections we've seen to the party, that, you know, that the party wants to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. But then the question is, if the APC was not able to convince people like you and several others who are now in this coalition, then what makes you think the ABC is doing the same for others who are defecting and that they are not doing so out of their own volition?
I think you are comparing apple with oranges. I mean, I'm not a state governor. It's the state governors that they are targeting, believing that once they have a state governor on their side, and when you were telling me about the strength of a political party earlier, you gave me examples of how many governors they had, how many senators they had. So it's the same thinking. So they believe that the more governors they have on their side, the better the chance that they have. But I'm surprised you are not talking about the absurdity of a governor belonging to one party and endorsing the candidate of another party.
But we've seen that in this country before. How is that absurd? We've seen that in this country. It has happened.
Under military rule.
Not under military rule. It happened. It also happened under democratic rule. It happened.
Can you give me one example, please? Can you give me one example?
I'll give you clear examples. We saw it in 2003. We saw it in 2003. 2003 we also saw it when some of your governors, your former governors in the PDP, endorsed a presidential candidate. I mean, when there were issues in your party. So this has happened before.
No, I can't. Okay. Let's assume. Granted, without admitting. Are you telling me that is right?
Well, this is not about whether it is right or wrong.
As a matter of principle. As a matter of principle, are you saying this is democracy? Are you saying that this is the kind of democracy that we want our children to inherit? Where you belong to one political party and be endorsing, then that makes political parties meaningless. So the fact that other people have done it does not make it right. That is the point I'm making. The fact that everybody is doing it today does not make it right.
But not everybody is doing it anyway.
We must have the... You say what?
I said not everybody is doing it, not all the governors, because
not
you seem to be suggesting all the PDP governors are doing it, but not all of them. And in fairness to the PDP, not all of them are doing it.
Not all of them, thank you. No, not all of them. And you see, what even makes this strange? What even makes this strange was that when you listen to Governor of Osun, Governor Adeleke, he said he was doing it because President Bola Tinubu is from Osun State. You will recall that when President Obasanjo was in power, the fiercest opposition he faced was from Governor Bola Tinubu of ACN or AD at the time.
AD, but quite a number of the governors of AD also supported Obasanjo at the time.
Now, he refused, and he provided a very strong opposition. And that is why we are saying that his democratic credential is not consistent or compatible with the kind of experience we are having under his presidential authority, because he has a robust democratic credentials. So all this conversation we are having about the government undermining opposition political party is not just us making up stories. It's what every Nigerian can see. So our hope is that the coming of the ADC, and we are very proud that within the few weeks that we have come on board, the reason you are interviewing me today is because ADC has become a de facto opposition political party in Nigeria. You wouldn't have done this 2 months ago.
No doubt, you are an opposition party in the country. There's no doubt at all. But of course, the PDP will contest that position with you as to which among the two of you now, or between the two of you now, is the major opposition party in the country. But all the same, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, thank you very much.
The fact that we are competing with PDP is something, right?
Anyway, you're right. You're right. You're right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, for coming on the program and sharing your time with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I will take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, don't go away. Opinions are free, facts are sacred, the truth is universal. How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI 360, dissecting the issues.